Hey, let's talk about something real quick. I've had a few questions on it, so it's worth addressing. I'll try to keep this short because I'm short on time, and I'm sure you all are also. So, your first flying job, how do you get it? Man, that's the million-dollar question, and a lot of people are looking for people to say, go over here, or go talk to him, or go apply to that company, but you just can't do that because things change so frequently. So, I'm going to give you 5 tips here on finding your first flying job. First and foremost, the one that you can control is getting your CFI. I'm looking at my list here. You're absolutely marketable, and with a CFI in hand, you can go a ton of places. Now, the downside is that for every hour you do in the air, you're going to do an hour on the ground. So, I mean, an 8-hour day, you're looking at 4 hours of flying, which is good, but you want to get the hours as quickly as possible. So my recommendation, start working on your CFI. That is a great backup plan if you don't stumble into something that allows you to build time faster. To do that, number 2, I say hang out at age-appropriate locations. If you have 300-400 hours, brand new commercial ticket, and single, maybe multi-engine, you don't want to be hanging out at, some big Atlantic FBO where the only people come in there are big corporate planes, the NetJets, the FlexJets, the ExoJets, all those. That's not your market. You're not competitive for those positions. So you need to be hanging out at drop zones, maybe a banner tow, places that will employ a single engine, single pilot, piston kind of job. I would go in there, and even if they're not hiring, drop a resume, drop a business card, because you never know when an opening might come up. Those jobs typically aren't, career jobs. So people come and go quickly. Drop off your contact information and keep them updated. Drop in every couple weeks or a month and say, hey, I'm still in the area. I'm still hungry. I'm still wanting to fly. Here's my new hours. Here's my contact information. If there is one person on the field that you might be competitive to fly for, there's probably others. So, and they all share information. They're in the business of helping each other out because, you never know when the favor might need to be repaid. So they will swap contact information back and forth. So don't underestimate that. Along with that, number 3 is network. I've said this before. You need to network like your life depended on it, because it kind of does. Greet everybody with a smile and a firm handshake. If you're not a people person, if you don't have social skills, if you're of the TikTok generation, you need to find some social skills and find them in a hurry, because nobody wants to be around you or fly with you if you can't carry on a conversation. The first book I would put in my professional library. You've got all the flying ones. And let's talk about something real quick for a second. Nobody is doubting your flying ability. The FAA has said that you are to the professional standards. So you're not going to impress anybody with your credentials. Sorry. You're not. Let me go one step further. You're not going to impress anybody that you were on the Embry-Riddle flight team. Okay. You dropped a bag of flour. Pretty accurate. Yeah, that's not what people are looking for. People are looking for a normal human being, somebody that can carry on a conversation, somebody they don't mind spending a 2 or 3 or 4 day trip with, somebody that you're going to have dinner with repeatedly and share a rental car with and all that stuff, not to mention the flight deck for hours at a time. So you need to work on your social skills, probably at this point more than your flying skills. Again, the first book I would put in my professional library, How to Win How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. It was written in the 20s or so, and that's 1920s, okay? But the tenets of that book are still hugely applicable. So that's my third point, is to network, greet, be sociable, and be a somebody that others want to be around, all right? Another tip, number 4, let's call this, is cold calling. What do I mean by that? All right, so you are hanging out in, let's say, FBOs or airports, or maybe you got a job as a fueler or something like that, and you're meeting all these people. It's not a bad idea to go on the offensive, right? You see people in their hangars, be polite, don't bug them, but put a resume in their hand. Hey, my name is so-and-so. I'm local on the field here. I got a new commercial certificate. I've got just finished my instrument rating, whatever, and let them know that you're there. If there's nobody there, I would leave my business card on a common area table. Tape it to a door. Shoot, they might not be hiring right now, but somebody they know might be, or they might have a vacancy come open that they weren't anticipating. And if there's one thing that aviation companies want to do, is fill their pilot slots. If they don't, 1, the company's losing money, and 2, the pilots that are left are going to be working harder than if they were fully staffed. And when pilots are worked too hard, they start looking for other places to go where there's more pay, or maybe the same pay but less work. So cold call, not like on the phone, but drop in, show up, don't take a lot of people's time, be respectful, just say, hey, I want to get my name and face out there. Finally, you have to be flexible, okay? This is probably the biggest hang up for people looking for their first flying job. They say, oh, I want the quality of life. Well, guess what? You're not going to have a quality of life when you start out. You're going to be flying single engine at night over bad terrain on the weekends, maybe on demand, and you have to do that in order to establish credibility. If nothing else, everybody has done that to some extent, and if you're the one that hasn't, you're not going to have the respect of many people. So just embrace it. My first real flying job was aerial survey. I left my family on the West Coast. I literally went to the East Coast for 3 months. And that's what I did. And I bounced all over the country. I was sometimes in good hotels, sometimes not, but I got a lot of hours out of that. And then when I came home, I hung out at the local airport. There was a pilot lounge that was out of the way. I just sat there and perused for jobs or started working on my CFI stuff. And as people came in, I just introduced myself, struck up a conversation. If they wanted to talk, that was awesome. If not, I left them alone. But I left my business cards on the table. I talked to the people at the front desk and let them know, hey, I'm looking for work. And word got around. I was lucky, and I landed a really good multi-engine job flying a nice Baron. And that was my introduction to multi-engine flying. So never underestimate... Well, let me put it this way. Treat every person that you meet, treat every introduction as a job interview. And if you do that, I think you'll find that opportunities come your way. Put in the sweat, put in the effort, be flexible, be humble and hungry, and the jobs will find you. It's really true. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. And I hope to put more things out like this in the future.